Starting off in episode 1, long ago, alien lifeforms came to Earth, fusing with people on the planet. Due to their appearance, they were dubbed Mecha-ude and were fused. They bore a striking resemblance to mechanized limbs. Through an involuntary partnership, average middle schoolers Hikaru Amatsuga works alongside the Mecha-ude Arma, who is an extremely rare and special existence. To protect Arma, the resistance group ARMS assigns the dual Mecha-ude user Aki Murasame to follow him wherever he goes. The episode began with a scene of the body covered with injuries being scanned. Two nurses activated their Mecha-udes to scan the boy's injured body. Outside the autopsy room, Aki Murasame and her boss, Ergis, were watching the autopsy. Ergis was saying that this was the third victim this month, and he doubts that this one will wake up too. He also said that hosts whose Mecha-ude were taken from will only survive for a week at most, so they need to get it back before it's too late. Ergis told Aki that she doesn't need to participate in the investigation of the one who did this, which is the worm-type Mecha-ude, since Aki's mission is to protect Arma. In the next scene, we see a green-haired kid was being chased by a gang. The members of the gang all seem to have Mecha-udes as they bought out when they cornered the boy. Aki shoved the boy out of the way, then a gang member approached her. After the man touched her hair, Mecha-ude sprouted from her back, knocking the man out. The other gang members surrounded her. Then she ordered her Mecha-udes named Dex and Sinis to slam the ground, knocking out the surrounding attackers. The gang members and his Mecha-ude named Joe recognize her as the Iron Twin Arms host, Aki. Joe then transforms into a motorcycle, escaping with his host, the gang leader. Well, gangs and motorcycles always go hand in hand. At the same time, the protagonist named Hikaru was hanging outside and talking with his own Mecha-ude named Arma. Arma was asking Hikaru if they were just going to stand back and watch all this unfold. Hikaru then tells him that it's all right, since Aki told them to stay out of it, and that he would rather go home than be there. When they saw the gang leader escaping, they rushed in to catch him, with Arma dragging Hikaru along. The gang leader saw Arma and Hikaru catching up to them. He got creeped out by the scene of Arma dragging Hikaru at a terrifying speed and tells Joe to go faster. As Arma and Hikaru catch up to them, they almost get run over by a bike. But Aki arrives just in time to save them and beat the gang leader. They interrogated him about the worm-like Mecha-ude host, but he didn't know anything. Aki's Mecha-udes cheer her up as she is disappointed that this chase will lead to nothing but a dead end to her investigation. Later, Aki found the green-haired kid who isn't Zoro, that she saved earlier, hiding near them. She asked him as to why he was being chased earlier and if he is involved in the case she is investigating. The kid is scared of her as her Mecha-udes hold him up. Hikaru tells her that the kid seems to be from a private school based on his uniform, so maybe he was just being mugged by the gang, and he has nothing to do with Aki's case. Hikaru told Aki that she doesn't need to bring normal people into this, as the kid seems to be scared of her Mecha-udes. Aki lets the kid go and she goes ahead of Hikaru, while Arma tells the kid to keep their identity a secret and forget all the things that happened here. The next day, Arma woke Hikaru up from school by sounding like an alarm clock. As Hikaru reluctantly woke up, he saw Aki hanging with her Mecha-udes outside his window. He asked her what she was doing outside, and Aki said that she is guarding him. She also told him to hurry up and go to school, to which Hikaru shouted that he is tired of living like this. He fell asleep in history class, and his seatmate tries to wake him up by saying that the teacher will get mad if he doesn't wake up soon. Hikaru ignores him and goes back to sleep. Arma wakes him up again by sounding like an alarm clock, which panics Hikaru. Hikaru explains to his teacher that it was the sound of his phone, and he was scolded for not turning his phone off at school. He saw a paper on the floor with the words mission. Then we also saw Aki inside the classroom, and it seems that they are classmates too. After class, Aki and Hikaru continued the investigation in a nearby park. Hikaru told Aki that he wanted to go home since he can't help with the investigation and he's just dead weight to her. He also said that he will just stay at his house to play video games and he will check on his messages and reply to her within 5 seconds. Aki refused, saying that she is Arma's bodyguard and it is not her mission to babysit Hikaru. She also said that Hikaru is useless on his own. That's why he should follow her and do what she says. Hikaru then went to the bathroom and told Aki not to come with him. He escaped through the bathroom windows and told Arma that he is going home since Aki can do the investigation by herself. Aki's Mecha-udes told her that Hikaru seems to have escaped, and Aki went around searching for him. We then saw Hikaru on the rooftop of the school watching the sunset. It seems that his feelings were hurt when Aki called him helpless. As Aki was running around searching for Hikaru, she encountered the worm-like Mecha-ude user who turned out to be the green-haired kid they saved last night. As Arma woke Hikaru up from his nap, he immediately checked Aki's messages and found out that she was defeated and her Mecha-ude was taken. So there guys, before we continue, if you've reached this far, I highly doubt you don't enjoy it, so don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and let's get back into it. The green-haired kid, Jun Kagami, called Hikaru using Aki's phone and told him that if he wants Aki's Mecha-ude back, he'll have to trade his Mecha-ude for Aki's, or else Aki dies because she doesn't have her Mecha-ude anymore. He said that they need to come within 30 minutes and not tell anybody about what happened. Hikaru later got a phone call from Ergis. He asked if Arma was alright. Arma told him that he is okay and asked about Aki's condition. He told him that Aki is not well and that Dex and Sinis were stolen. He also told Hikaru to go home since his safety is their priority and Hikaru has nothing to do with Aki. Ergis's Mecha-ude tells Arma that human thoughts are illogical and incomplete and he shouldn't let their thoughts affect him. Hikaru then tells Ergis that he doesn't need to worry since Hikaru can't do anything anyway, and he ends the call. Hikaru then tells Arma that he wants to rescue Aki's Mecha-ude back. Arma tells him that he will always help him and he doesn't need to ask. He found Jun in an abandoned factory and asked him Hikaru to follow his lead as Jun is dangerous. Hikaru and Arma were focusing on taking Aki's Mecha-udes back from the hands of Jun, but they were unable to do so. Jun also taunts Hikaru about how he is sick of being called worthless and that Aki will not recognize him if he takes her Mecha-udes back. Hikaru was enraged and struck Jun back. He imprisoned Hikaru in his Mecha-ude and tried to strike them while they were both trapped inside. Arma successfully defended and destroyed some of Jun's Mecha-ude, but the broken parts around them floated and electrocuted him and Hikaru. Jun walked towards Hikaru saying the trigger arm was. However, Arma lights up and punches him in the face despite being ripped out, and he starts crawling towards Hikaru, who is unconscious. Jun was baffled as to how Arma was moving on his own. Arma then sounded like an alarm clock, like earlier, in order to wake up Hikaru. Hikaru was dreaming about how he first met Arma, and he woke up to the sound while yelling Arma to shut up. As Hikaru reached towards Arma, he reattached back to Hikaru, but this time to his arm. Hikaru changed his appearance, looking like he powered up, and his other eye had flames on them. Jun couldn't believe that Arma was the trigger arm after all, and shouts that the trigger arm belongs to him. As they fight again and punch Jun along with the shield to knock him out. The next day, we see Hikaru sewing back Arma to his jacket. Arma tells him that he is terrible at sewing, and he wants to be nice and comfy. Aki then arrives and scolds Hikaru for not replying within 5 seconds. Sheesh, talk about being obsessive. Hikaru says he's sorry and asks her if she's feeling okay now. Aki sits beside him and suddenly she says she's sorry. Hikaru couldn't believe what he just heard and asked Aki what she just said. Then Aki said sorry again and thank you. She then takes Arma and orders her Mecha-udes to come out with some sewing materials, as she wants to do it herself. Hikaru also says he's sorry and thanks her for always looking out for them. He also said that she doesn't need to protect them anymore, to which Aki said to not overestimate himself, and that he only needs to focus on protecting Arma since he is his responsibility, since he's the one who found him first. She also takes back what she said before and tells Hikaru that he is not helpless. She then proceeds to sew Arma up furiously. Hikaru laughs as he sees Arma begging for help. Suddenly HQ calls Aki and she throws Arma back to Hikaru, revealing the poor sewing job that she did. She then dragged Hikaru while Arma was following behind. The episode ends as Hikaru shouts again that he's so sick of living like this.